And I'll give the floor to His Excellency, Mr. CHEIKH NIANG, Chair of the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People.
Mr. President, the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People thanks Brazil for its presidency of the Security Council this month and expresses appreciation for the briefing of Mr. Tor Wensland, the UN Special Coordinator for the Middle East peace process. The committee also commends Secretary General Antonio Guterres for his tireless efforts to address the crisis we are facing. Over the years, we have repeatedly warned that the situation in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, was unsustainable. Without a political horizon and in the context of relentless human rights violation, the deterioration of the situation and escalation become inevitable. Yet the Security Council remains unable to bring a halt to the bloodshed and to protect civilian lives, as regrettably witnessed with the veto last week. On 7 October, I issued a statement condemning the killing and wounding of hundreds of civilians in Israel. We also condemned the taking of hostages. We welcome the recent release of 4 captives and thank Qatar and Egypt for their efforts to descend. I further call for the release of all captives as well as of all political prisoners. On 17 October, the Bureau of the Committee issued a statement that inter alia condemned the killing and wounding of thousands of civilians and targeting and widespread destruction of civilian infrastructure in the Gaza Strip. Israel, the occupying power, bears responsibility for protecting the civilian population and for the unfolding humanitarian disaster. Everyone repeatedly warned about the risks of explosion because Israel's 16-year-old illegal blockade on Gaza has transformed the Strip into an open-air prison and impoverished the population. We strongly condemn Israel's reprisal airstrikes and bombardment on the densely populated Gaza Strip, killing as of 23 October over 5,087 Palestinians, including women, and over 2,055 children, and injuring more than 15,000 Palestinians. Thousands of others are said to remain under the rubble of their destroyed homes. Particularly abhorrent war crimes are attacks on medical facilities like the Al-Ahli Anglican Hospital in Gaza Street, where an airstrike killed some 500 people, including children, women, men, and medical personnel, or places of worship sheltering civilians, as the attack on the Greek Orthodox Saint Porphyrius Church, killing and wounding dozens. And it is estimated by UN OCHA that over 1.4 million Palestinians in Gaza have been displaced. The committee further condemns Israel's military orders for Palestinians in northern Gaza to evacuate to the south of the Strip because there is nowhere safe to go in Gaza. Forced transfer of people is a grave breach of international law. We second the call by the SG and UN agencies for Israel to rescind the evacuation order. We cannot stand by and watch another Nakba being inflicted on the Palestinian people. Mr. President, wars have rules which this organization, this body must work for, to uphold and ensure compliance with always. Collective punishment, denial of humanitarian assistance, military attacks on homes, hospitals, places of worship, schools, and facilities where civilians seek refuge are violations of international humanitarian law. We call for an immediate ceasefire. Israel must immediately lift its total siege of Gaza and allow food, water, electricity, medical, and other life-saving supplies, as the deliberate denial is tantamount to collective punishment of the 2-3 million Palestinians living in Gaza, half of whom are children. We commend Egypt for facilitating the entry of crucial humanitarian aid into Gaza through the Rafah crossing and urge Israel to allow an unimpeded flow of assistance. Similarly, we praise Egypt's convening of the Cairo International Summit for Peace in the Middle East on the 21st of October. We need more, not less, dialogue. UNRWA reported losing 35 staff members killed by Israel's bombings. Its facilities are sheltering over 600,000 internally displaced persons, while its life-saving supplies are dwindling. The agency has called for $104 million in emergency support. We call on all member states to provide urgent financial assistance to UNRWA and to continue strongly supporting its indispensable mission. We regret that the situation in the OPT, in the occupied West Bank, including East Jerusalem, is also rapidly deteriorating, with 91 Palestinians, including over 20 children, killed since the 7th of October by Israeli occupying forces and settlers. The committee welcomes the decision by the UN Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the OPT, including East Jerusalem and Israel, to collect evidence of war crimes committed by all sides since 7th October 2023. It also joins the call for the International Criminal Court to launch a fact-finding mission to investigate violations of international humanitarian law. There must be accountability for all human rights violations and international law breaches perpetrated in the OPT, including East Jerusalem. Mr. President, the current crisis has proved once again the centrality of the Palestinian question to the Middle East and global stability. While we are absorbed by the immediate need of securing a ceasefire and providing desperately needed humanitarian assistance, we must emphasize that there is no military solution to this conflict. We need to focus on our long-standing objectives, the end of the Israeli occupation, and the fulfillment of the inalienable rights of the Palestinian people, including to self-determination and independence. There are the pillars of a just and lasting peace. I appeal to the Security Council and to all member states to overcome divisions and to act now to stop the bloodshed and protect the Palestinian people. We reiterate our call for an immediate ceasefire and for the delivery of urgent and unimpeded humanitarian assistance to all those in need. Lastly, the committee reiterates its appeals for serious international efforts leading to the sovereignty and independence of the State of Palestine on the basis of the 1967 lines, with East Jerusalem as its capital in accordance with international law and relevant UN resolutions, and providing a just solution for the plight of the Palestinian refugees. This, and not bloodshed, is the only path for a just and lasting resolution of the question of Palestine, as well as for peace in the Middle East. I thank you.